Former Major League Baseball pitcher Daniel Serafini will be on trial with opening statements due to begin.
And this is all surrounding a case that goes back nearly 4 years.
What's good, y'all? Welcome back to the channel. Like, share, subscribe, comment, IG, TikTok, bottom of the video, and we're going to hop right into it. So, today, we're doing an update on the video. I did it a while ago. I'm not sure exactly what month it was, but it was definitely very early this year. And we'll be talking about Daniel Serafini and his murder trial. So, if you are unfamiliar with the name Rder Serafini is most famously known for being a MLB pitcher from 1996 to 2007. He was in the major leagues. And you may know Daniel Serafini also if you are a fan of Bar Rescue, where his bar appeared on the show Bullpen. And we'll actually talk about Bullpen a little bit in here because it got referenced in the court case. But yeah, but that is not why Daniel Serafini has recently been in the headlines. Daniel Serafini has recently been in the headlines because he, in 2021, is accused of murdering his father-in-law and her wife. I mean, not. He didn't murder his wife, but he did attempt to murder her, and then she later offed herself 2 years later. So, yeah, crazy line of stories. So, first, I give you, I guess, the players and who I will be talking about today. So, I already said, so the person, Daniel Serafini, is obviously the one being accused. So, Gary Sport is his father-in-law that he's being accused of killing. And then Wendy Woods is the woman that was with him that he also shot, that she later offered herself. Other players in here would be Aaron Spur, who is currently Serafini's wife, and she's actually testifying in his defense. You'll get to see more why this whole case is very interesting from that perspective as well. We'll talk about Adrian Spore, who is Aaron's sister, who she's having disputes about. And we'll also talk about Samantha Scott, who was the family nanny who they say are accusing Serafini of having an affair with. And she was also arrested in connection to this case. As well as we'll talk about Joe Serafini, who is Daniel's older brother. So, those are all the people we'll really be talking about of importance in this case today. So, first thing I do want to talk about is Samantha Scott. So, Samantha Scott, like I said, was the family nanny who was arrested in relation to this case. So, she was arrested and now has pleaded guilty, accessory to a felony. And part of her plea, she has to testify against Daniel, and she has revealed a lot. So we'll get into her testimony. So before we get into her testimony, I'll give y'all real quick the physical evidence. So physical evidence that we do have is there's surveillance camera footage of somebody, a masked man. It is said that this masked intruder entered the premises around 5 p.m. and then Aaron Spore said goodbye to her parents at 7:45 p.m. This intruder who was still inside and shoots and kills Spore and shoots Woods around 8:51 p.m. and it leaves the premises about 8:55 p.m., 9 p.m., where we see a vehicle who seemingly belongs to Samantha Scott pulled up to the premises. And we have not a lot of physical DNA besides that. So, getting back into Scott's testimony. So, first thing Scott says is she spent the night with Serafini the night before the murder. The murder took place on June 5th, 2021 at a city casino in Elko, where she reportedly said they drunk a lot. Oh, Scott at first she had reportedly lied to police, saying that she was still in Elko at the time, but a time around the murder, because like I said, she drove him from and picked him up. So she was still saying she was in Elko at the time of the murder when they were able to ping her phone from Reno to Truckee. So that threw her old plan off. Another thing that she said on the stand, she said after the murder was done and when they were driving off into the desert, she seen Serafini take apart a gun and throw it out the window, as well as she seen him throw out a white PVC pipe, the gloves, and then she eventually said they stopped, and when they stopped, he threw his shoes and the backpack in different directions. And then later, she said after the crime, she wasn't sure what Serafini had did, but she said she got inklings and became increasingly maybe aware of what he had did. And then she said one day that he had admitted and confessed to the crime. He said he confessed to shooting Woods, which was the woman who didn't die, but he never talked about shooting her father. And after that, what made it so weird and how they didn't really know what was going on, it is said that Adrian Spoor, Aaron Woods, and they were invited on a family vacation. Them four went on. That's weird as hell. I'll just tell you that. You invited on a family vacation. I mean, I guess you don't know what's going on, but that's just weird as hell. You drove that nigga to kill her, and now she invited you on a family vacation because she had no idea what's going on. So that's type crazy as hell. So she did also say that the affair that they had was after the killing. She said they started their affair in October of 2021. Like I said, the murder happened in June of 2021, and the affair, obviously, while he was out, we know what the affair consisted of. But she said while he's been in jail, she smuggled some letters and things of that sort to him. So definitely an interesting part. It's definitely interesting to see that she's saying all this on the stand about them having an affair, and Aaron is still up there trying to protect him. But we'll get into more of why she might be trying to do that. So that's Samantha's testimony, pretty much all the answer from that. The next thing is Joe Serafini's testimony. Now, Joe Serafini, he doesn't really have a lot of relations to the case, but he does have some things that I think pretty much hurt his brother, even though I don't think I think his intentions were to get on the stand to help his brother, but I don't think he did much to help him. So one of the things that they did, like I said, they showed the surveillance camera footage. Like I said, the lack of physical footage, and they were just basically saying, does that look like your brother walking, or his mannerisms and things of that sort? And he first thing the nigga said, nah, that run was feminine/gay. And then a weird thing that I thought he was thinking he was helping with them, but which I don't think is gonna help him in the end, because y'all family, y'all probably do walk alike. Is he said that the guy walked with an arrogant swagger like his dad and him and his dad, and not his brother. So yeah, I get what you're saying, but at the same time, y'all all are related, so it's a chance that y'all might walk alike, all of y'all. So another thing he says is that Woods and Spoor, the Gary Spoor and Wendy Woods, attempted to, or not tempted, but they made threats to sue Serafini back in 2012, because when he originally met Aaron was in dental hygiene school and she decided to drop out. So they obviously probably was trying to recoup some of their money, because they probably were paying for her school, but you're not going to get that back in the case of that. So I don't even know why they would even throw that threat out there. Next thing he does say, he says his brother jokingly, he said he thought it was jokingly, but clearly with the circumstances, he must have been dead ass serious. Jokingly offered him $20,000 to kill Spoor and Woods. That's not a good look, but I don't really think his intentions were to get on the brother and hurt his brother, but I think that's everything he did when he get in that. That was probably the most important from the testimonies. The only other testimony we got on the stand is they did bring a FBI analyst on the stand. They said the person in the video is approximately 6'2", but Serafini has been listed as 6'1" in his MLB career, which I don't think that's really going to help or hurt his case. Well, it could really more hurt his case to me, because if you are somebody who is familiar with athletics and things of that sort, heights get fudgeted a lot in a lot of sports. Nobody is really, well, it depends on certain cases, but some niggas is not as tall as they say, and then some niggas is not as little as you think they are when they talk about their height. So this is definitely something that gets smudged, and the fact that it's like 6'1", 6'2", approximately, same size. Like, let's be for real. But yeah. Now we can get into more evidence of the ongoing issues that Aaron and Adrian had that involved family businesses, as well as involved Serafini, that could have led more to this incident. So they said, one, that they already had a decade feud with when Serafini lost a lot of his money, MLB money, on the bullpen that appeared on Bar Rescue. Now, I don't know I don't know if they were invested in it or he let them make a lot of decisions in it, and that's why the feud came. Because the way they had Rder, it just seemed like he lost his money on his own business. So why would you be mad at them? But obviously, they had some type of investment or something in it that he felt hurt his business. Now they also like I said, it's also an ongoing legal battle between Adrian and Aaron over the family will, but I feel like that's more of a recent thing before we get into, I mean, but not, you know, with something that caused the murder, because you wouldn't have to worry about a family will while the nigga's alive and well. I'll say that. Okay, so back to Aaron and Adrian. They also talked about how it was a money dispute over the family horse business when Aaron. It was they also reviewed emails from Aaron to Adrian that talked about the correspondence and how Serafini had to help with hundreds of $1,000s in fees with hair insurance and that things, and how they was kind of at their wits end with that. Another issue that they had was with a $1.3 million investment into a ranch renovation project that they said was kind of started by the Spores, but then it was took on by Serafini. So that's why I guess kind of a similar situation with the bullpen. They took something on, an idea of theirs, and it fucked their money up. So 1.3 million is a lot of money to lose, especially when you were like, it's not like you were a superstar in the MLB, and even then, I don't care who the fuck you is. $1.3 million is a lot to lose anyway. So I can see the anger behind that, but getting them off is, a little extreme. So, and after this incident, they read emails from Serafini to Spore Woods and saying, "I will be coming after you," which is crazy, but this was from a while ago. It wasn't from like right before the murder, but he said, "I will be coming after you. I am done with your threats. Take me to court." So that makes it clear of a dispute of an issue they had in the past. And when big money get involved, stuff like this can happen. So another thing with money that also is fishy, they also reported that Woods gave Aaron Spore a $90,000 check before she was shot. And as I said, it was saying Aaron left the residence at 7:45, while Daniel Serafini did it at 8:50 when nobody knew he was still in the residence. And that makes it very much seem like, in my personal opinion, that Aaron knew about it, even though they haven't, put her in the trial or put her on the, I mean, they is putting her on the stand to testify, but she testifying in the help of her husband. And it do makes it fishy to me, because you get a $90,000 check from her, then, you're in the house after he breaks in and things of that sort, and then and then they all of a sudden die after you get your check. So yeah, that's definitely fishy as hell to me. So I like, come on. So yeah. Now, basically that's all, the evidence of going through a dispute. Now, the next thing we do that the defense did present, the defense presented that other people may have wanted to, do the same thing to Spore and Woods, because they have also been described as nightmare neighbors by others, and they said they have current, or not current because both of them are deceased, RP, but at the time they had restraining orders against them. Woods the woman was actually convicted of attacking a man for fishing outside her home in 2018, and Spore was involved in several court cases in the decades right before he died. So that gives, that definitely helps the defense in saying that these not exactly stand up. Well, I mean, I ain't gonna say they're not stand up citizens, but these are not the nicest people, and it's not just like, oh my God, who did this to these people? Just rob them. Like, so it's like that helps. They also said that Adrian benefited from Gary's death, and that she is currently dating a convicted bank robber. So these, the Spur, they just like criminals. They was rich as hell, but they like criminals. Serafini catching bodies, and the other one dating a bank robber. So they just like niggas who do shit at this point. Like that's what it's given. And last thing that's important to it. So they did have two people that they give a little bit of testimony that had experience around Serafini. So one was Angela Simmons, a woman who worked at Bullpen, but she said that she repeatedly felt uncomfortable, so she quit a couple times, but I guess he kept trying to get her back and hire her back. And she said that she overheard Serafini calling his his parents-in-law wealthy pieces of shits. Another one, he had a former supervisor of the job he had, Eric Berner, who said he overheard him in June of 2021. So that literally had to be within 4 days because he literally killed him on the 5th. So he had to literally within 4 days before him that he wanted to kill them. And then obviously on the 5th, they end up dead. So that's very bad timing. And to the money thing, they had a family friend of the Woods and the Spurs that, confirmed that they were that rich, that their net worth was definitely in the tens of millions, because when she tried to help Woods before she eventually offered herself, like, take care of her, they offered her $7,000 a month, which, $7,000, that's not a part of your rent and all that. That's, what's 7 times 12? 84,000. Just 84,000 that you can pay out to somebody. Obviously, you probably, getting some money. So, yeah, that's pretty much all to everything with the case. Everybody kind of wrote it out as he confessed and did of that sort when he never actually confessed in court. They just, have somebody said that they confessed to them and didn't even confess to the murder. They only got somebody saying he confessed to the attempted murder and the break-in, obviously. So, yeah, it's a crazy sort. We'll do an update probably when they convict him and sentence him. But yeah, that's all I got for right now. So like, share, subscribe, comment. I just hit top on the video, and we out.